It is the 6th of July. One of these bolts will fit.
Hamilton keeps putting his car at the other side of...
Kevin Magnussen.
All right.
Nicest guys in the paddock, and as you said, Julian, Fast never really had the opportunity.
I think I broke it. It's the 7th of July.
Throughout the season and access to incredible to being a fan.
It's the 8th of July. It is the 9th of July.
How you doing, buddy? I got to drive, so appreciate if you moved. Thank you. Cheers.
Mate. If they poison them, let's just leave it.
They'll go in it.
It's just nature, isn't it?
So these three parts, hopefully I can fashion into the gear linkage. Let's see how well it goes. So this bolt that I bought is too short and this one is too long. It needs to be about that long. So I'm just going to cut it. So I don't know what just happened, but this is the bolt that I cut and this is the bolt that was too small. They are, I don't know, 1/2 mil. It's really hard to display. They are that much close. Okay, so good news and bad news. Good news, this wheel hub is now completely in and spins fine and freely. And if you spin it, you can hear something is going on in the differential. There's a little bit of slop, but it's moving something in the differential. Compared to this one, you spin it, it is struggling. And if you listen, yeah, so this one is not in correctly. You can see there's this tiny gap here. I reckon that is enough of a gap for it to not be working properly. And also, when you spin this one, and the engine's not spinning, this one should spin the other way. So I've done something wrong here, and I have to take this bit out. Lovely. We are 2.5 hours in, and this is back apart, so investigation time. We have good news. So when we spin this one here, if we look, it does move, so that means there was just something wrong with the installation of this, unless this is just straight up broken, which would be terrible news. So you can see it definitely has the grooves on the inside there, and that definitely has the teeth, that definitely has the grooves, and I can feel them locking into each other when I pull them together. In fact, I'll just do it now. They're definitely locking together. Unless something catastrophically bad is happening in there. Here we go. So if you look at this, move this left and right, we'll move this one. It's not easy, but it is happening. Woo! One of the last jobs for today is just secure the wheel hubs. So this split pin goes in this hole here, and when it's aligned with this, and that will just stop this from coming undone. The pin is in. Got a little bit more time than I was expecting, so I'm going to get this engine steady, this bit down here. I'm going to try and move it around, see if I can connect it to this bit here. And then I'm also going to install the starter motor, which is this here. Bottom engine steady on. Oh, you can't see it. Not moving anywhere. This bit moves. This bit does not. Perfect. Starter motor next. Alright, starter motor is now in. That is everything we need to see the bottom of the car for now. So I'm going to put this underguard in, and then we're done for the day. There we go, oil pan protector on. That's me done for the day. Time to eat.
Yeah.
I've got 2 hours spare, so let's see how much I can do. My aim is to install the alternator, which goes right here, and the clutch that goes right here. So it took me about 25 minutes. Alternator in. Next thing, clutch goes here. This is the clutch slave cylinder. I didn't disattach it, I just rubbed it in a plastic bag. We'll see how good that is. So if you look at it, it looks all shiny and wet. That means it is probably leaking, which sucks. But it's not too hard to replace. So for the time being, we're going to run it, see if it affects the levels, and then we can replace it if it is leaking. There we go. Doesn't that look terrible? That was one of the bits I forgot to paint, and I'm not going to paint it now. So anyway, it's not actually working, but I'm hoping that's because it's below the minimum amount of clutch fluid and not for a bigger reason. So I will fill that up later. The thing is to install this bit there. There are no bolts for there. They are up here, which somehow is even hotter than 30 degrees it is today. So, got the bolts. That is the condenser on. We really don't have much left. It is too hot to continue working for today, so I'm going to take a break. Job for today. I'm going to get the car out. I'm going to roll it out into the sun. And then hopefully we're going to try and get it started. We'll see how close we can get. I'm really struggling to get this drive gear, this bit here, in correctly. But it felt pretty good the last time I just put that in, so we'll give that a go. So this is as far as I can get it. And it looks like it should go like an inch further in, doesn't it? Rotated the engine a little bit. This is where it was getting stuck at, and if you just watch how the screw goes. So that screws all the way in. Now I feel happy about that. There we go. That is how I'd expect it to look. This is the sump plug. It's a bolt that goes in the bottom of the engine and keeps all the oil in. It's meant to have a washer. I cannot find a washer. I bought all these, none of these fit. So I'm going to try and make one out of this Coke can. I've been feeling like this hadn't been jank enough recently. This is going to be my washer. More than anything, I'm just kind of interested if this works in any capacity. I'm going to replace it in about a week anyway, but yeah, it's an interesting project. Next job, fill up this oil filter and attach it down there. Now we've got oil in there, we need to crank it over on the starter motor and make sure it's got oil pressure. The oil pressure meter is in the old dashboard, so I'm just going to quickly run wires to the old dashboard so we can check. This is my mechanic's lunch. There we go, dashboard is temporarily back in, nothing screwed in, but hopefully these two should be wired up. So we'll know our voltage, we'll know our oil pressure, and we can start cranking it over and see what happens there. I just need to wire up the starter motor. If I've got this all right, these 3 wires are the ones that are needed for the starter. And then this white and black wire is the one for the oil pressure. And all I need to do is add a ground strap, and then I can test everything. And there we go, that is the ground strap, and that's just going to the engine. And hopefully that means we can crank it over now. Let me turn it on. Voltage is on, the oil pressure is infinite. That means I've plugged in the wrong one, I think. Yeah. By using this one, I've changed it out to this one. We'll see if that works. Right. That's it on, it's showing 0. Right, time to give it a test. That doesn't sound like the engine's turning. There we go, it is turning, so time to fill out everything else. Let's see.
Stop.
What's happened?
Oil everywhere, all over my floor.
Yep. Yep. Where is that coming from? Yep, so we're leaking oil from here. The gasket here needs replacing. It's not a hard fix, but I don't have the right part, so that'll have to wait till Monday. The fact that it was leaking oil means it had oil pressure, which in a way is good. So I'm going to continue like that was a successful test, and I'm going to put everything else together, so hopefully we can just start it on Monday. Right, new spark plugs. They are set at 25 thou, which is a dumb measurement. It's 0.6 millimeters. Spark plugs in. Next, distributor cables. So I've had some problems with exhaust leads in the past, so I'm going to use some exhaust solver. I'm going to use that to glue the gasket on here, and then on the other side I'll glue the actual thing to this. Why? What? This is what this came out looking like. It's not meant to be bubbly and weird like that. It's meant to just be thick. And then this one is not meant to be this stringy, I don't think. It's not meant to have liquid around in it. Ugh. We'll see. The problem is so hot today that this is setting pretty much before I can apply it properly. So we're gonna have to go for pressure instead of... We have the exhaust all bolted in and the intake. Last thing is to do is the carburetor. To the...
Mine, Dad. Go that way a little bit, please.
There we go, that is the intake in. So all we've got left is a little bit of wiring and that gasket down there, and then we're sorted. We can try and run it for the first time.